Uh, all right, nice. Okay, so Jerry Brignac, thank you for waiting patiently and for being the early bird. And hello, Pafo. Not sure if you've been to the live before, but thank you for dropping by. Uh, Essentially, how I start these lives, I always have like a preset plan, and first that involves looking at our fundamentals. And hey, stock scalping samurai, welcome to the show. Uh, Anyways, so crypto fear and greed index. Let's refresh it just to make sure we are at or the most up to date. So we're at 24, which is a 2 point increase from yesterday's show. So thinking we're seeing a little bit of strength. I think right now we are seeing a bit of a uh, recovery on some of these alts. And hey, welcome back, Saints and Little Fish. Thank you for dropping by. But yeah, let's look at our liquidation map. And well, if we look here on the 1 day, the longs now outweigh the shorts. Pretty interesting. I'll look at the 7 day. Our shorts still outweigh the longs, and we do have this cluster of liquidations for Bitcoin right here. 30 day, of course, Bitcoin still heavy on the shorts. But what I do want to point out, because we are mostly going to scalp or do some very quick trades, nothing more than 24 hours ideally, is the fact that we have a lot more long liquidations now, which is interesting because we can see that there is this big cluster here, and essentially that tells us that price being closer to these liquidation clusters could move to the upside first and then decimate the downside. And we'll see how that plays out later, uh, whether our TA aligns with that hypothesis. And RSI heat map, let's make sure we refresh that. So yeah, a lot of our coins, so BTC, ETH, SWI, APT, Link, Ton, all of these coins are still sort of spread out on weak to neutral. And we do have some outliers. So we've got ZEC, ICP. We might want to look at ICP again, especially since Jelly Jelly, who was, I think, much higher than ICP last night, sort of just fell off. But yeah, all right. So that is our fundamentals, and that's going to just set the groundwork for what we're doing tonight or this morning. Sorry. Uh, the beauty of having so many people from different parts of the world gets confusing with time zones. But anyways, let's look at Bitcoin on the 5 minute 1 hour chart, and we can see that we did get our downward reversal. We did reject off of the premium zone, which also happens to be the previous day high. So it's interesting that we got a rejection here because, well, typically when you reject off the previous day high, that means that you want to sort of retest the previous day low. That said, right, our 1 hour with a crazy amount of bullish divs as well as a cross on the dynamic line here on the MVP ribbon suggests that we could see a bit more upside. So it wouldn't surprise me if we head to this nasty bearish order block. If we touch this or maybe even wick to the FVG up here, I think we've got a nastier dump coming. So yeah, let's look at Ethereum real quick. Something is not loading, so let me just fix that real quick. Okay, nice. So Ethereum, same thing. We also got a downward reversal triangle. We did get a break of structure on Ethereum, and technically speaking, we are bullish, right? We got the dynamic and quantum reactor cross here on the 5 minutes. We're also above your zero or your dynamic zero line here on the MVP ribbon. However, it's sort of very similar to BTC in the sense that we're now sort of at areas in which we can reject off. And I'd like to see where this 1 hour MVP ribbon goes. Granted, because we're. Oh, you can't hear anything? Sorry. Oh, hold on. Uh, let me check. Give me a moment. Sound check, sound check. Can you hear
Can you
me?
hear me?
Hello? Hey guys, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? No audio. Okay, I will restart the live. My, my bad. My bad. Alright, I'll just restart it real quick. Give me 1 second. Alright. Hey Jay Brignac, can you hear me? By any chance? Has it been fixed? Hey Stock Scalping Samurai. Is this better? Okay, perfect. Man, thank you guys for telling me. I was just gonna go right through it. Alright, let's restart. My bad, you guys. Thank you so much for telling me. So again, and I was welcoming everyone too. Oh no. Okay, so welcome to the show. Nice to see you guys. Sock Hopping Samurai, Saints, Jabergnag, Techwatch. Thank you so much for the kind words earlier. Um, yes, I'm also happy to see you guys. All right, so as we always start the show with FA. First of all, Fear and Greed Index is up by 2 points from yesterday, so that does coincide with the fact that the market is showing a little bit more strength, bouncing back and rejecting off some key supports from earlier. Right now, liquidation maps, something I do want to bring up to you guys is the fact that long liquidations on the 1 day are now greater than short liquidations on the 1 day. So that means more people are opening longs than they are shorts, and these are high leverage longs. I mean, look at this cluster around 99 to 101. It's crazy. Obviously, when we get to the 7 day, the shorts dramatically outweigh the longs, right? But it's important to note that when we're looking at this, since we're scalping, the 1 day is sort of our best friend here, right? When we're swinging 7 day, 30 day, most likely our friends, but here on the 1 day, this is what we want to look at. And we see this huge cluster right up top, huge cluster right at the bottom. So logic dictates that since price is closer to this cluster, we go here first, and then as more people pile in their longs, we want to go down. That's just how you follow the money. And let's see. Welcome back, little fish. Sorry I couldn't welcome you earlier. I didn't know my audio wasn't working. But in any case, let's look at the RSI heat map. Refresh a little bit. So generally, right, we have all the coins sort of spread out between neutral and weak. So Bitcoin's still weak, APT still weak, Ethereum is weak, WIF, Ton. Uh, we have some that are showing some strength, like XRP being in neutral, still kind of weak, but yeah. Fartcoin's up here. Jelly's now down. ICP is in strong. We have some outliers. I don't even know what Giggle is. If any of you guys do know Giggle, it's interesting. It sounds like a meme, but we can check that out later because the this being an outlier is very nice. It gives us potentially something to look at, right? So that is it for our fundamental analysis. Generally, we're looking maybe for a little bit more upside than some downside. And yeah, welcome to the show. High upon a rock, little fish. Oh, little fish is here. And bye, Felicia. Welcome. Yeah. So thank you guys for being here again. Big oopsie on my part. Didn't know my audio wasn't working, but you're not here for those technical difficulties. We're here for the charts. So Let's look at the charts. Wait, let me just pull up the chat. Seems 50-50. Yeah. um it does seem like it's 50-50 right now, but I think there is a little bit more clarity when we look at the 1 hour, and uh, I've decided we should look at a little bit at the macros as well. So something like the 30 minutes, 4 hours, and 12 hours 1 week moving forward. But let's start with the lower time frames since that's what we're specializing in this session. So Bitcoin 5 minutes, we've got a big rejection here at the previous day high, right? Which also now happens to be the premium zone on the 5 minutes. Although your 1 hour does say that you want a little bit more upside, you even got above your dynamic zero line here on the 1 hour. Granted, because of it sort of just, what's that scientific term? Just, it's osmosis. Like, you know how they just sort of pass through something? It's not really like a nice clean shoot in. This is sort of just passing through. It's possible it does something like this, and we've seen it on some charts where it just sort of goes up and then goes back down. Yeah. Um, osmosis. uh, but yeah, um, it's sort of just passing through. It's not strong enough, so I'm not entirely convinced that we do have that very strong bullish momentum. On top of that, in terms of magnitude, it's not that great either. I mean, compared to the magnitude of the momentum when we dropped, this is convincing. And we retested, boom, drop again. So here you can see that it while it is significant, it's not as convincing compared to these. And so what I potentially see, right, on Bitcoin, at least in the immediate term, is possibly something like this. We get into this very gnarly bearish order block, which is basically 100% short, right? And we reject off of it. Possibly we could break above it, go for this FVG, but the moment we go above that FVG, we've got our dynamic reactor, followed by our quantum reactor. And so I really don't see Bitcoin just blasting to the top without any sort of catalyst. And we can leave Bitcoin for now. Let's look at Ethereum, and it's sort of the same deal, right? The only difference is our order block is up top, our FVG is what we're going first. Even our structure 618 on the 1 hour is here, and it's doing the same thing. And it's not necessarily sketchy when a coin does something similar to another, especially when we're talking about the two biggest coins in the space. But it is something to take note of, right? When Bitcoin and Ethereum are basically duplicates of each other's CPO plus and MVP ribbon, it's something to just keep in mind that anything that might resemble bullishness, or if it's in this case bearishness, and it does this, be skeptical of it. So yeah. All right, let's see who else is in the show. Okay, so the same group of people. So thank you guys for being my regulars. I really do appreciate it. All right, let's look at Solana, and oh, Solana didn't load properly. Let's load Solana up. Yeah, actually, I got out of my Solana short at 148. So, uh, just to share a little bit of the gains here. Yeah, I got out of Solana at 148, and yeah, made 70% on 20x lev. So, low-ish lev, you can still make a lot of gains from it. Yeah, which is why in the calculator I sent, there's recommendations for leverage. Or there's a recommended leverage based on your RR, SL entry, and whatnot. But yeah, looking at Solana, here this is a little bit more convincing, right? We're actually already above the zero line. So if I had to long between these three, it would probably be Solana. I'm more convinced of this than I am of this and this, right? There's a clear difference. That said, Solana in the 5 minutes has a projection of a rising wedge, which, of course, not ideal if we're going to long. And sort of just to get a reference point for the measured move, it's all the way down here. Um, but you know what? It does look like this could sort of be possibly a double bottom, right? Could be. Um, yeah, it definitely could be. That said, another thing on these three coins is the fact that we've got quite the heavy money outflow. So again, uh, very interesting night we've got, or day we've got. So welcome to the show. We have um, uh, Thanasi 911 or 911, and sorry, your name's truncated, but welcome to the show. I'm Langstrom, and if you have any questions or coins you want me to look at after I go through some of the coins I've prepared for you guys, just let me know. I'm an open book, and I really do appreciate interacting with you all. So yeah. Now, our Trump trade from last night. Man, this could have been amazing, right? Just a little bit more, right? We were had Trump gone down just 3% more, we would have gotten our full take profit. Um, I did call for us to basically stop or put our stop loss to break even, and we got to our first TP, which was 7.06. So around here. Was it 7? Yeah, around here. So yeah. So when we got here, I said let's put our stop loss to break even, and well, we got tagged, right? This is clearly stop loss to break even, but if you were very bold and brave, then you're still technically in profits. And the 30 minutes is in your. Oh wait, we're on the 30 minutes and 4 hour. I didn't even realize the 30 minutes is in your favor because if you got three overbought candles right here, downward reversal, shift in direction. But the 4 hour is not in your favor because your MACD is basically all the way down a MACD. Your MVP ribbon is all the way down here. You got kind of a compression going on. It's not really that crazy compressed, but the fact that we've got essentially a triple bottom on the CPO plus with an upward reversal, it does seem like we are going to get a bit more upside, right? All right, let's see the chat. Yeah, good morning, guys, and hi. All right, so one thing that we did want to look at was Giggle, right? So let me pull up Giggle. So unfortunately, I don't think Giggle is on Blowfin, so we are going to do the next best thing. I'm assuming most are either in Mexi or Bybit, so I'll just use Mexi since I've used it quite a bit before, right? And let me change this to scalp. Scalp, so 1 hour. There we go. I mean, you did get your bullish cross on the 1 hour. You're getting sort of a weaker bullish strength right here. Your dynamic reactor, quantum reactor are they're being funky, right? Because you want the slower one always on top of the lower one, and it's sort of just dancing in between. And it's very far from price, and so I do see price sort of dropping in order to retest the reactors. But I want to wait for confirmation on the 1 hour to be possibly overbought, or we get a sort of a twist on the ribbon. So, based on direction, I'd like to see if we can get to the POC, like the money flow point of control. If not, something like 181.8 would be good, just because I do see it losing a little bit more steam. So we want to get up here, basically. So put alerts on Giggle for 216 and 180, and let's see where we go from here. We could also look at it from a swing perspective, as I said. So let's pull up the 4 hour 30 minutes. All right. Okay, yeah, the 4 hour is basically almost overbought, right? But you've got that shift in money flow, your shift in volume, and a very convincing bullish momentum. And so right now might not be the best time to short it, even though it does look like, even though it looks very shortable, right? Uh, I would I would still just wait for any of these alerts to get hit. You can put one in the middle too if you'd like. Oh no, I don't not turn classifier. Put one in the middle, but I would look to possibly entering a short here on the sell zone, which is about 215, 220 ish, right? But other than that, we don't really have a clear picture just yet. So yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Thanasi. It's very kind of you to say. Good luck in your meeting. And don't worry, the session's being recorded. You'll get to see it hopefully within 40 minutes of the class end or the session ending. So yeah, thank you so much for dropping by. I really do appreciate it. Yeah. Uh, hold on. I need to drink some water. Uh, does Blowfin have futures on Nasdaq? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Where is yesterday's recording posted? It's posted in live classes, I believe. I sent it over to OC. So essentially, the process is I record on my PC. I upload it to a Google Drive, and then I send it to OC. Then OC um, does a little bit of modifications or checks some stuff, and then posts it. So if it's not posted, that means OC hasn't reviewed the video yet, and so yeah, yeah, OC's a very busy man. The guy's a beast, in the most uh, kind way possible. It's in editing. I see. I see. All right, no problem. All right, so Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks interesting, right? This could possibly be a head and shoulders because you've got that nice step, and so what I'd like to see possibly, excuse me, it's the watermelons. I ate watermelons for dinner. All right, let's go. Possibly, right? What I'd like to see is something like this, right? It doesn't have to be a perfect head and shoulders, because patterns are always made by inefficiencies in the algorithm or the market's algorithm because it aims to give fair value. And so typically when we see patterns, it's because of inefficiencies that were bearish to an extent that created the head and shoulders. So there is some logic to pattern trading. Yeah. It's not always perfect, but there is logic to it. Yeah. OC guy rocks. Yeah, he does. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so I see us possibly dropping like this, or possibly doing something like this, but and it's sort of supported by the 1 hour possibly pushing up. Mm. That said, it doesn't really. I don't know. We sort of missed a lot of the moves, and it's to my understanding that NYC is either about to open or it already has opened, right? Yeah, sorry. There's a daylight savings time zone issue, so I'm not entirely up to date anymore. About 5 minutes. Okay. So I guess right now, right, our general okay, lovely. Thank you guys. Our general thesis for tonight is we get a push to the upside, uh, right? And the liquidation map, it's showing about 1036, so 1036. So right here, let me put a horizontal line, 1036, right? And damn, that's straight on the order block. Look at that. So FA is saying 1036, and we've got our order block right here. And so it looks like we can we can probably scalp that if our thesis is correct that we hit, we liquidate a bunch of people, and then we head back down, possibly even further down, or we double bottom here. That's how I see it. So I guess, and again, I'd like to make this very clear. This is an idea. It's not a call I'm giving just yet. An official call is something I'll post, but for what I'm seeing, right, based on the fundamental analysis, we could see something like this, and we aim for a 1 to 2, right? Possibly all the way down to premium if you want to do that. I see something like this playing out. So something like going to 104 or maybe even lower, let's say 104, like that, just to make sure we do get that entry. Stop loss above the previous week low, confirming a bit of bearishness, which is also above a resistance, equilibrium. So great points of resistance to basically slow down should price just go ballistic. Or we get, like I said, our head and shoulders right here. So it's sort of playing out, right? You'll post it in Discord under. Yes. So essentially when we're doing these lives, if it's an official signal that I endorse, I'm going to post it under my my signals chat. So if you click on what's this? Unlock signals, and then click on crypto signals, I should pop up as one of the chats there. So yeah. And those will be posted. Whereas if I don't post anything, that means that anything that we did here is an idea. I can't fully give my stamp of approval and endorse it. And so it's just an idea based on what I'm seeing. And that's the thing about scalping and sort of scanning the market, right? You can see some really good setups, but if you're not comfortable taking it, if you don't have your heart and your belief in it, it's kind of difficult to justify. And that's sort of the worst trade to take, in my opinion, because you're half sure and half unsure. And so your emotions are just going to play with you when that happens. So it's something I also spoke about last night. When you're doing your strategy and you see someone basically have a different perspective from you, it's okay to listen, of course, and learning from another person, getting that feedback, getting a different perspective is always valuable. But it's also important to sort of stick to your guns, and you can be confident in sticking to your guns when you've really fine-tuned your strategy. And so for me, right now, this is an idea because I'm just basing it pure speculation and visual forecast. I'm not seeing anything yet, and this right here is an idea. So we're just waiting to see which idea plays out better, right? And market open, which is in 2 minutes. So yeah. All right. Oh, hey JR, welcome to the show. Yeah. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. God, I don't know why I'm so thirsty. I had watermelons. Those things have water. It's like the most. No, cucumbers have more. Do cucumbers have more water than? I'm not gonna think about it. I'm not a farmer, and I'm not a biologist, so it's not my area of expertise. But okay, our area of expertise is making money. So, all right. Let's see what's going on here. Might fill out this head and shoulders thing I drew, or it flies all the way here, right? Does seem like it could. It's hard to tell. And market opens in 1 minute, but even ETH is making sort of a head and shoulders. Solana, not too much, but it has that sort of, it's like a inverted Adam and Eve, but yeah. Click see attachment. Slightly more. Thank you, thank you. Interesting. So watermelons have slightly more water, but in terms of sort of the composition, cucumbers, the composition of a cucumber is more water than it is watermelon. Nice. We're learning, guys. Uh, uh, all right, all right. So market just opened. We're seeing an immediate pump on 5 minutes. Not something too drastic, right? So let's see where this sort of takes us. I'm just going to let's just let that play out. Well, that kind of looks depressing, but in that case, this would be your thing, right? And then you would put your thing right here or here. But yeah, yeah, no. It does look like the we might see another massive poo poo tonight, or to this morning. Yeah, tonight, this morning, maybe it's afternoon somewhere, but okay. Let's see here. Ethereum has a couple of supports, so I kind of don't want to play with it right now. Whereas Bitcoin doesn't really have much. Okay, let's see if it can bounce from here. Let's get. Let's see if we get a nice head and shoulders, right, and then short down to something like the dynamic reactor easily, or we lifted up premium, something like this, right? Look. Oh, unless it starts running already, but we're not gonna chase, right? Let's see how this plays out. 2 minutes on the 5 minute, right? Let's look at some of our others. And if Solana's taking a poo poo, yeah, Giggle's still showing some strength. Let's look at Trump. It really might be the coin that got away for us. Really? Yep. Oh no, wait. What is this? What happened to the chart here? Why did it do that? This was supposed to be all the way down here, I think. Yeah, 6.6.6. Yeah, it's supposed to be something like this. And then this should be what was our stop loss last night? Hold on, let me see what's up in chat. My trade's already one and done. $80.10. Nice. Nice. Congratulations. Yeah. Okay. So the call was 7.638. So above here. I believe. Yeah, right here. About right here. So it does look like it just revisited our entry and it's starting to head down. But, you know, it might be a blessing in disguise because of this 4 hour, right? Sort of triple bottoming on the CPO ribbon. And then up reversal, hidden bullish div in the volume. So it might be a blessing. So, yeah. All right. It's really hard to tell. Oh, man. Let's see if it bounces off this FVG. If not... Oh, yep, it's... Well, the market's taking a dump. So maybe my thing about it pushing up earlier, this was it. This was the push up based on the FA, and then now we're getting the dump. Okay. Mm. But yeah, sometimes, and this sort of happened with one of our lives where there really was not a lot to do, not a lot of moves, or not really a clear signal we can do. And so in lives such as these, or sort of market conditions such as these, I'm hesitant to just throw in a signal because right, my goal is not only to teach you guys to take a trade, but also to sort of provide guidelines on when not to take a trade. So right now, I'm very I'm really skeptical of how this market's moving. Whereas last night, even though Trump was in drawdown, I was sure that it was going to drop, and we hit our first TP. We got zero risk on it, and so again, what's making me skeptical is the fact that we have mixed signals from our different time frames, and typically when you take a trade you want cohesive signals from almost all the time frames, right? It doesn't have, like, if the shorter time frame is saying we're going to dump, but the one on the higher time frame say we're going to pump, then that's fine, right? That makes sense. You put your entry a little lower. But here, specifically, what's making it difficult is we know that the lower time frame is dumping, but the higher time frame wants to head up. And so shorting right now and on the lower time frame doesn't make sense. But if we long right now, we're in the middle of a move. And so that also doesn't make sense. So we're caught in this really odd place where we can, but then at that point, your risk to reward, your time to effort, your effort to risk is probably not worth it. And so in these moments, it's best to just wait, and really can't do much about it at the moment, anyways. Like, yes, I could have given a short right here, but then had I given the short here, we'd sort of we'd sort of lose. I don't want to say lose, but we also couldn't catch this necessarily because this would be a market order, and as much as possible, I don't want anyone to die from the fees or lose from the fees. And you can see how disgusting this candle is, right? We had a very strong push to the downside. It did a little wick, and now it's reversing. That is a disgusting candle right there. You don't want this kind of candle as soon as you've basically entered your trade. And depending on your slippage, you probably would have entered here of all places. So technically, you would be up way less than you are. So again, we can take high probability trades, and we can take trades we're confident in. The worst ones to trade is when we're skeptical and when it doesn't sort of match our strategy, right? I mean, this is, we could have shorted, but then this is sort of the result, and I wouldn't want that for any of us. So yeah. And if you guys again have any questions or any coins you want me to look at, just let me know. And yeah, we can look at them at this live session. So this is a new face. I'm sorry, your username's truncated, but good morning if you're from the uh, well, if you're sort of in the west, or good evening if you're like me here in the east. And I'm Langstrom, and yeah, welcome to the show. It's always nice to have new faces, and again, I really just enjoy interacting with you all. So yeah, and precisely my point, right? If I said short here, now we're at break even. We're in drawdown, right? Possibly we get rejected, but showing strength, and you're almost towards the lower extremity of your 5 minutes. So again, I see us just losing this trade, right? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, and look at that. You've got a transition on your 5 minute CPO plus ribbon. So again, that was a this right here was a low probability trade. It's not something I would have told you guys to take, and I told you guys. Let's see if it fills out the head and shoulders. Let's see what it does. We got that dump. I said it's sketchy, and then we got the pump, and now we're sort of in drawdown. If you took the trade, we're probably going to see this region, right? We're gonna see this order block on the 1 hour, and it's just a matter of waiting. Let's see if our thesis is right. If we're overbought at the point that we reach this, then perfect. We can probably take a short. If not, we just wait it out and uh, possibly explore other options. And feel free to suggest some other coins for us to look at. I don't know why I'm so thirsty. Like, was it the watermelon? It can't be the watermelon. It's water. Okay. Yeah, see, right there. I mean, we literally just got it. Oh, well, it didn't close. Long Wild? Let's have a look at Wild, actually. Wild. Do you mean like Wild like this or WLD? Wild. Am I typing it right? I think, is it just spot? Hmm. Well, it does look kind of scary, if I'm being honest. That said, yeah, it is spot, yeah. So, no leverage, and you have to buy it. But that said, well, we kind of broke all of our previous supports here on Wild. So it's in a reverse price discovery mode. I know that's not a thing because it's already explored this price before, but what I mean is it's sort of looking for support. And if you look at this crazy money outflow on the 4 hour, as much as you got that direction, it looks like it's gonna continue headed down. Uh, it's almost close to zero even, right? 0.05. I would say possibly just wait for it or set an alert around 0.015. It will probably head there if I'm being honest, because whenever you have such heavy money outflow, it can basically invalidate your oversold and reversal triangle. So it'll just continue down, right? You could get a relief bounce right now, but again, I do see this just poop, just taking a poop poop, just go down. Yeah. No worries. All right, Dash. Let's look at Dash. I know you actually. I think you've made me look at this before, so I should probably place it on my radar. Dash. Okay, so Dash looks pretty bearish on the 4 hour, right? We've got your peak seeker, your bearish div, and we've got it basically acting out. Uh, Let me change back to the cursor. Right. That said, you are on your bottom extremities on the lower time frames. So, what could possibly happen, right, is we get to equilibrium and we bounce from there. It's possible. But as you near the zero line and sort of the zero line here on the 4 hour, your question then becomes, will it continue to the downside or will it bounce? And that's sort of the basic question. Since we've already broken through our reactors here on the 30 minutes, it's basically a guarantee that we're headed down. The question is just, where can we catch it? And ideally, we don't want to catch a falling knife, so we want to get to a place where it will rest fairly easy. So I would put alerts at the FVGs, so 64, here at the support at 72, and just one above this order block, and see where it lands. Because to me, right, this is like a nice reset down, and let's see if my guess is correct. If I go to the 12 hour, all right, your 12 hours massively overbought as well. You had sort of this parabolic jump. This is like a 700% increase. It's pretty good. So yeah, I would probably wait for us to reach 64. There's also an FVG there on the 12 hour, and see if we can just bounce off it. But right now, in terms of a scalp, a possible scalp trade, let's go to 1 hour. Well, we've got a projection to head down to at least 88. So that's something, right? And 88 happens to be your FVG on the 1 hour and your money flow POC. So I would hold off on shorting it just yet, or shorting it, because we are getting a bit more strength, right? You got the transitioning ribbon, you're basically down here. I would probably, if you did want to short this, wait for the discount zone. It's likely to bounce up. Even if it's a very tiny bounce, it's likely to bounce up. And then you can probably short it down to your measured move, which happens to be your 1 hour FVG. My final take profit would be at the measured move if I shorted this. So the question then becomes, what price do you enter at? I can't give a answer for that just yet, because not really sure how this market's moving. Let's go back to a couple. Yeah, see, if I told you guys to short it, we'd be dead. Like we'd actually have lost that. So good thing I did not endorse and just said that was an idea. Yeah, don't want to make you guys lose money, right? The goal here is not only for us to all make money, but it's also for us to learn. So yeah. Okay, Ethereum, sort of making that head and shoulders. I'd like to wait for it a little bit. Solana. Oh, Solana could have been a pretty decent long, actually. Like, we could have longed. I don't know. It's rough. It's actually kind of rough. Oh, sorry. That is my USD PHP currency conversion. So, yeah. Actually, one thing I wanted to show you guys, I've totally forgot about it, but now I looked at it. So I do trade US stocks as well. I might make this a signal, but I know most people here are trading cryptocurrency. But for those who might be interested in US stocks, I would be interested in possibly longing MicroStrategy, so MSTR. And the rationale for that is, if we look at the weekly, there's an FVG right here, around 186. Right? You got your prophecy saying it'll dump, and basically when we get here, it's sort of a retest of this region right here, when we just had a massive rally and we ranged for quite a while here on the 12 hour. So for me, I probably call this, right? Although, yeah, I'm not sure where to place it just yet. I know we have a US stock channel. I might do something like that, right? And I'm probably gonna post this sometime, but given that we're really far from entry, I just wanted to show you guys, so you guys get like the first pick. But yeah, let me see who else is here in the live. But looks like I've got my regulars as well as a couple new faces. So thank you so much for being here. Yeah, look at that. So it looks like our thesis here of possibly shorting at 104 might come true, right? So I think I need a little bit more information. I want to see how far the ribbon stretches on the 1 hour. I know it's kind of cheating because we only have 2 hours on the live here, so it's kind of cheating for me to wait it out. But I think waiting is also a very important skill when it comes to trading, right? Impatience and emotion is sort of your greatest killer when trading. But yeah, how about you guys? What trades are you in right now? I'm kind of curious. Oh, oh, cool. Okay, so yeah, my I'm probably going to long micro strategy at 184. My stop loss will be at 137. I'm not sure with the lev yet. I'm gonna have to calculate, but yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then I see us breaking above the wick that we made back in last year, November. Literally last year, I see us breaking above it, possibly going maybe 650 or higher. But I did 600 to be conservative. Yeah, but yeah, this is sort of my micro strategy thing. Trying to find the stocks to scalp. Actually, we can probably look at Tesla. I mean, Tesla is that very interesting stock where it sort of acts like a cryptocurrency, but also not. All right, let's pull up Tesla. Oh shoot, is this? Huh. Okay, my bad. My bad. Let's make sure the symbols are all together. Tesla. Okay. What did I do? What did I do here before? Huh. Um. That's weird. But all right. So we broke past the trend line. We're bought on the weekly. Let's actually look at sort of the lower time frames on Tesla. I am a little bit more sort of afraid with like scalping stocks just because you get these large gaps such as these and it's just terrible. So I'm not sure if I recommend scalping stocks. I normally swing stocks myself. It was put on Tesla, bearish div from bullish price. Contract locked in at 452 and sold at 450. Nice. Oh, bought it. Oh, bought it at 454. Locked in for. Oh, locked in at 4. All right. 18 seconds. Yeah. I mean, look at this gap, right? This was in the span of. Yeah, this was in the span of what? Well, it was market close and then boop, just down, and then we got this. So fun to have gaps, I would say. You know, it's just how it is with stocks. So I would always swing stocks rather than scalp stocks. Because crypto's 24 hours, it's the perfect thing to scalp, if I'm being honest. But yeah, let's go back to a higher time frame on Tesla. So it does say that it wants us to go down, right? Everything's dumping. I'd set an alert for 402.63. So, right. And I would probably place a wind line right there. And the reason I do that is because I want to basically know when Teslas touch this FVG and whether it will bounce off the white line. Oh, wait, let me lower it a bit. So again, I have this thing on my candles where it tells me the last traded price, and I want to see what happens when we touch that again. So right here on the white line, which is at 376.71 on the weekly. Ideally, what I'm looking for is this, right? Something akin to this on the move, right? And this would basically fall around December, which would be nice. Okay. Let me. I probably should have just pressed undo rather than slowly clicking every single one, but yeah. But if I held, would have done better even better. Oh, thank you for sharing, Stock Scalping Samurai. Yeah, any thoughts on perfect holding times? Genuinely, I'm probably the worst person to ask with holding times, because there are some trades where I tell myself I'm going to close this in 3 days no matter what happens, and then I let it run for 2 weeks. Uh, the fees don't kill me. I've always made sure to put my stop or move my stop loss so that it covers the fees, so it's truly zero risk. But sometimes with holding times, it really depends on the asset class you're trading, right? With stocks, well, you can you there are tons of things you can either long, short, options, whatnot. I think that it really comes down to your risk your risk preference, but also the stock you're trading itself. With Tesla, I probably wouldn't hold for more than, if I'm not holding the stock itself and I'm trading trading it, I probably wouldn't hold for more than like a week tops. Right? There's really no perfect holding time. There's sort of a recommended holding time, right? When we scalp, ideally less than 4 hours, sometimes less than 12, right? If you're doing like a semi scalp thing, like what we did with Trump, that happened in less than 24. With swings, you don't want to hold it for months on end. You can, right? But it's really flexible. I would say that it's one of the things in trading where it's very loose. It really all depends on your strategy and what you're comfortable with, and if you've calculated the fees as well. Yeah. All right. So Bitcoin is at 103.2. It's pumped up. Okay. So 2 minutes before we get candle close, ideally I want us to be around this region. I want us to be overbought on Bitcoin, and then we short, right? I also Another thing that I'm also looking for is if this sort of the MVP ribbon sort of bends, right? Rather than going straight up, I want it to bend a little bit, so that it's sort of it grazes the zero line and then it wants to sort of push downwards. So that's what I'm looking for right now. Okay. Okay. I tried to use ATR and VX, correlate that, measure out the longest legs of the day in terms of price. I don't know. I can see the logic behind that. So, um, when you use average true range, it average true range usually works more with, I would say, well, yeah, yeah, it does. Average true range helps with setting your stop loss and sort of accounting for volatility. So you're not calculating wrong. I do see the logic behind it. So if it works for you and you get sniper entries, then perfect, right? The only reason I don't use ATR is when I tried to use it, I just got more confused, right? That might just be my preference for how I like my indicators. But if it works for you, uh, then yeah, then great. Average holding time on base move is really damn. That's pretty short. But no, but I see that. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we got our 1 hour close, and well, we're not in this region. We're far from overbought, but your 5 minutes is showing a bit of strength, right? Basically duplicating each other. You bounce off the fluid zero line on the 5 minutes. You transition, but your ribbon sort of twisted, like like a purr. I don't know what uh people my age do with this. I make it sound like I'm so old. I'm just 21. Jesus. Mm. But yeah, I don't know what Gen Z, Gen Alpha do with this, so don't quote me on that. But um, I did want to be higher up here on the 1 hour, so I mean, there's a possibility like in 2 hours that we revisit this. But since I'm not here on the live, I can't fully call it. But if I do, I mean, I'll place it in the signals in my signals chat, and I'll tag all of you, right? All right. Thank you, JR, for dropping by. Have a good morning. All right. Thank you. I really do appreciate you dropping by. Thank you so much. All right. Oh, we do have some new faces. Hello, Capitan, Capitan, Capit, Captain Nemo. There we go. I can English. Captain Nemo. Hi. Is that a picture of your dog? He looks very adorable. And welcome, Wave Pulse Vibes. I'm Langstrom. Welcome to the show. Although the show has been a little bit slow compared to the one yesterday, so I do apologize. But yeah, welcome to the show. If you have any questions or coins you want me to look at, just let me know. Any tips you might have, or anything interesting, feel free to chat it. Love to hear it. I am new, guys. How can I get the bottom ribbons? Which one is that? Oh, okay. Hi. Yes. So this ribbon right here is the MVP ribbon. So essentially, you want to first get your Prime Oscillators Pro. You could do the Pro Plus, but Pro is fine. Essentially, when you get it by default, it's going to be your Prime Oscillator, something like this. Right. Let me just put it on Prime Oscillator, and let's let it load. This is gonna be like this. Right. This is the basic fundamental chart prime oscillator that we've come to know and love. This is the pro version, the plus version. But essentially, you want to go to settings, oscillator select, go with MVP ribbon, and then right there, it changes to this. And essentially, what this ribbon is it's MACD, but what makes it superior to MACD, or your well, the traditional MACD anyways, is the fact that you basically have magnitude, as well as how far momentum can extend forward. Right, with MACD, it's sort of just, oh, it's a nice hump, then it dies down, transition to zero line. You can't really tell if it's going to continue pushing. You can't really seem to get a sense of the magnitude after. So yeah, exact. Oh, this right here isn't volume. So this right here is they're your bottoming bars. So I don't know how Chart Prime coded it, and I'm always in awe with how Chart Prime did it. But essentially, when you get these green bars, it's indicating that price is starting to bottom out. Yeah. So if you want volume, you need the Pro Plus, the Prime Oscillator Pro Plus, and your volume is essentially this matrix right here. So for example, this would be bullish volume right here because it's green, and then if it's yellow, it's transitioning, right? And then this is bearish volume, and then the height just says how large that volume is. So yeah. And then if you want this MA ribbon, and I use it as sort of a dynamic support resistance line for the MVP ribbon, just let me delete this actually, right? Just click on these three dots. You want to add indicator. You want to type moving average ribbon right here. So it's the one made by TradingView itself. You want to go to your settings. You want to turn off all these MAs. Now I used white earlier, so I'm going to use white again. I'm going to change this to 144. So that's the number of sort of periods or candles it's looking back to make that fluid line. I'm going to go to style. I'm going to make it slightly thicker. It's up to you if you want it slightly thicker or not. Go back to inputs. I'm going to scroll all the way down, second to the bottom, click there, okay, and it should show up. Am I shorting BTC? Yeah. So, thank you, Stock Selfie Samurai. Yeah. So I might short it at 104 because essentially what I'm predicting at 104 or what I'm seeing visually is that we're going to go overbought at around 104. We also got this very big bearish order block, essentially 72% of the total trading volume with 100% imbalance, right? And if we go through our FA and a lot people who were early to the stream saw the FA earlier, right? We can see that essentially on the 1 day, which is what we're doing, or we sort of look at the most because we're scalping, but also sort of doing these short swings. We can see that there's more long liquidations than short. Right? That's not true on the 7 day or on the 30 day. But the fact of the matter is, there's more longs than short. And you can see that we've got this large cluster of liquidations right up until 104, right? You got this huge one at 103.6, and you've got this cluster at 104. And so what I see is, right, you get to push to the upside, you liquidate all of this, their exit liquidity, we go back down. And we liquidate the people who went massive on their longs. So what I like, sort of my strategy, right, is to supplement your technical analysis with fundamental analysis. And you can argue that it creates confirmation bias, right? Because when I sort of projected to 104, I said, well, there's an order block there. So confirmation bias. But what we're looking for is high probability trades. And so it's okay to have a confirmation bias, right? It makes sense, at least in this context. When confirmation bias might fail is if you suddenly just go perma bull or perma bear, right? That is when I'd say confirmation bias could be detrimental to your trading. Because, for example, for the guys who were here in previous streams when OC asked, do I think we're in a bear market? Do I think we're going down? I say, I don't think we're in a bear market, but I do think we're going down because I see a move to the upside around. Oh, this is the wrong chart. Bottle fruit loops. But yeah, essentially this is what I saw on the 1 week, and it's sort of the first trade I've posted, right? What I see is that we've got this bearish divergence. We're headed down. We've already crossed the zero line. We've got bearish momentum on the MVP ribbon. And so what I see is a move to the downside. But do I think that automatically invalidates the bull market? No. My invalidation point is 75K. So if we break past this, we made a higher high, but then we made the same low. We're going to break down. But I think, excuse me, sorry. The watermelons really are making quite the appearance in today's session. But yeah, what I see is that we get a push to the downside. This weekly FVG is just sitting here, untouched, right? And if you guys know Elliott wave theory, right? I'm just going to, that's not how you spell Elliott. I'm just going to use the one from TradingView, right? It says that our possible move to 618 is here at 94. This is new. I haven't seen this, right? It says that we could possibly go to 115. But I think, based on the probabilities, the fact that our CPO plus is pointed down, bearish div, bearish momentum, the fact we've got an FVG just sitting at 93, 94K, I think we head down. But I don't think that means we're in a bear market. In fact, when we get prices like these, this is the perfect time to buy. Because when sentiment is so terrible, that means that... Oh, sorry, my bad, guys. Right, 50 minutes before we end the stream. So I'll try to give as much value as I can, right? But when sentiment is terrible, that is when market makers and banks like to swoop in because they've got discounted prices. All right. If you look at Tesla, if I had held 30 minutes this morning, no. Found Prime Oscillators Pro Plus, but looks like it requires a different subscription than mine. Is that true? So, um, for the Pro Plus, currently I specifically subscribe to the Plus on Chart Prime. So I'm not sure what um, Johnny Bravo is. Not fully sure, but yeah, yeah. Damn. Well, we'll always get opportunities to make a couple. Well, not a couple hundred, but we'll always get opportunities to make more money, right? What matters is when we enter a trade, we're strategic about it. When we take a loss, we're strategic about it. When we win, we're strategic about it. Always strategy. That is the that is our biggest edge against the Twitter crowd, I would say. Right? Here at Chart Prime, our edge is the fact we've got TA, we've got FA, we've got an edge in the accuracy of the indicators, and we're basically helping each other become better traders, and that is something a lot of the Twitter crowd is not gonna have, and they're not going to see the value in investing in it. Maybe BTC could short at 1034. Possible, yeah. I can see it, right? I mean, we got a rejection here at the premium again. We got a rejection here on the 5 minutes. But my only reason for putting the entry higher is because we've got this push to the upside from the 1 hour, and if I pull up the 4 hour, excuse me, oh, I'm never eating watermelons again. This never happened when I eat other fruits. But when I look at the 4 hour, right, we're sort of at the lower extremity. We're transitioning, and so what I see from the MVP ribbon is we get here, and I want to see a rejection, right? We do the same thing here. I want to see a rejection, and that's why I'm not sort of aping into any shorts or longs at the moment. I want to see how this plays out. So unfortunately, today's not as exciting as yesterday, but I'll make sure that when I see a signal, I give it to you guys so that we can all make gains. And I'll give you my logic, my reason for entering that trade or giving that signal, and you guys can determine whether you want to hop in. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for 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 saying I make sense. I do appreciate making sense. But yeah, you know, I I took profits on Solana at 148 because I was shorting it. And what was funny is I wasn't even awake when that happened, and so I just woke up and I panicked because I was like, "Wait, where's my Solana position? Where did it go? Oh no, did I get stopped out?" And then I was like, wait, if my Trump short is still alive, that means my Solana short either either hit final take profit or somehow it's not appearing. And I woke up a little richer today, so that was nice. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys get that heart attack when your position like it gets to your TP, it disappears, and you're just so confused the next day that it's gone? I like how. Thank you. Mm. So, to tell you the truth, right? I wasn't always sort of calm when it comes to trading. In fact, um, when I first started trading, uh, I had a winning streak. I didn't have a strategy. I was just gambling. I had a winning streak. It was good times. I made from $2,000. I essentially made it into uh, $4,000. And as a new trader on the scene, you're just like, oh shit! I just doubled my money in like an hour, and I took like 3 trades within that hour. And I was like, oh fuck, this is too easy, right? And then uh, the moment I took my fourth trade, and not to be superstitious because I am part Chinese, so the number 4 is unlucky for us, right? Because si or 4 kind of sounds like shi, which is like death. So we don't like 4. When it, yeah, yeah. So on my fourth trade, that $4,000, all of it got liquidated, and I crashed out. I was like, I was punching the wall. I think I broke a lamp, so that's why my room is just completely dark at night. There's no, yeah. But what that taught me, right, when I'm breaking things is being emotional is more detrimental to the surroundings around you, right? It's not necessarily detrimental to yourself because you can be emotional and you can be angry, but you can control it. But when you can't control it, it's suddenly everything just it goes terrible. It hurts the people around you. It hurts the way you look at everything, and it really just puts you a step backward, and you don't want that. So what matters when it comes to trading and sort of controlling your emotions is to simply let go. It sounds simple, maybe obvious, but just let go. Let it go, right? If it hits your final take profit, it hits your final take profit. If it hits your first TP, you move SL to break even. That happens. If it gets stopped out, it happens. Which is why we can't ape into trades. It's why I'm a big advocate of only using 1%, of only risking at most maybe 3% of your portfolio on a trade, because you have to treat you have to treat trading like it's war, right? This is your life on the line. Maybe it's not your life on the line necessarily, but you got to treat it like that, because market makers treat this like a game. To banks, this is a game, and it's just a matter of who can outsmart who, right? When we negotiate with people, at the back of our minds, we're always thinking, what do they want? And so when you understand that what market makers want is your money, and they want you to be emotional, you can't let them win. And it's that attitude of, I'm a winner, I'm not letting you take advantage of me, and I'm going to stay true to my strategy no matter what. And if I lose, I lose. But at least I can be proud that I stayed true to my strategy. And therefore I didn't really lose because I'm sticking to a plan, and if my plan isn't working out, I pivot. I readjust. I maybe listen to some tips from other traders, whether that's myself, Runair, OC Guy, Alex O'Crypto. Listen to these guys, right? Because I listened to them when I was starting out, and they've been a huge inspiration to me as I progress through my trading journey. And it's all about just knowing that you control everything. Maybe not the whales, but you control everything within your setup, your PC, whether you enter this trade, whether you're confident about this trade, how you analyzed it, whether you put or how much margin you put. You're in control of all of that. And so stick to what you can control and be confident that what you your decision isn't something you'll be ashamed of. If you'll be ashamed of the decision should it go south, then don't do it. Right? It's really that simple. So when you become a better trader, you also become a better person. You become more disciplined, and when you become more disciplined, you become a better trader. It's like it's this beautiful uh, cyclic effect. I mean, that's what we call it in economics. Something called like pro-cyclical. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that, honestly. I have finals coming up. I really don't want to think about finals. Uh, that's terrible, but yeah. Yeah. Yes, eight is super lucky in China. Yeah, I don't I forget what. Oh no, eight is super lucky in China because like it's infinity. It doesn't end. Yeah, yeah, it is war, right? And you are the commander of your portfolio. You send your troops, your margin to battle. If you have to take a loss on a battle, at least it's strategic. At least you've mitigated as much losses as you can. And on, if you take a win with your margin, be smart about it. Don't just ape in and think that the enemy's weak because these guys, right? They they have the power to just make the market move a certain way. We're at their mercy. Excuse me. I really shouldn't eat watermelons anymore. I won't eat watermelons next time. I swear. But um, I'm sure some people in this Discord have a shit ton of money, right? And hopefully there aren't any 12-year-olds when I said that. But uh, the amount of capital I have is probably different from the amount of capital Samurai has, Saints has, Aussie has. Um, the guys, the guy with like the Assassin's Creed profile picture. I'm really sorry. I can't see your username. It's even truncated on chat, so I can't address you properly. We all have different amounts of available capital, right? And therefore, our risk tolerance and possible reward, or like the ceiling for rewards, are going to be different. And so, don't feel pressured to basically catch up or have this same amount of money because we all come from different backgrounds, right? Some of us here probably are starting with money that we saved up from a part-time job. Some of us are saving up because we've been in the workforce for maybe 20 years and we decided that this is a great way to make cash on the side. Some of us are getting investors to possibly help us get that initial capital to start. So don't feel like you're in a rush because the only enemy when it comes to trading is yourself and, well, obviously the market makers as well as time. And the market makers will use time against you, right? These market makers, they've been at it for decades, maybe even centuries, right? I mean, the modern banking system, I don't think it's been a century old. Has it been a century old? But the point is, they've been at this way longer than any of us. They've got more capital than any of us combined, right? And so let's not try to let's not try to go against them, and let's use their tactics with them. So, yeah. And I see that Waldo has entered live. Thank you for dropping by. Uh, Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any clear signals for this live, so it does suck that I can't give you guys any concrete signals at the moment because of. I mean, just look at the chop, right? Imagine longing this and then down, and then shorting this and then up. I'm, it's really difficult to give any clear signal right now based on how the market's moving. Oh, welcome to the live, girl. Welcome back. It's nice to see you. Yeah, yeah. Well, we were talking about essentially we were talking about trying to stay emotionless and trying to understand maybe the philosophy of trading. Yeah, rob the bank. You need to wait to launder the money. I mean, if you did, I wouldn't know. I don't know. I don't really know your name, and I'm probably not gonna fess up to the cops, right? So you could have probably done that, deniability. Although I probably shouldn't say that because I want to be a lawyer in the future. Although, I can be like a lawyer like Saul, right? Saul Goodman. I can be like him. You know, I can get my clients out of interesting holes. Yeah, it is a great show. Breaking Bad is awesome. Yeah, well, Saul Goodman's spin-off's also cool. But yeah, essentially, the only thing I maybe have an idea on is maybe shorting at 104 because again we have this very chunky bearish order block right here. Your stop loss above the previous week low because ideally we'd want to bounce off of it, but and we've got this crazy money outflow on the 4 hour, right? So if we hop onto the 1 hour, we can see that the same order block is about 100% bearish. Crazy money outflow, right? And this is so accurate. I mean, just it started right here. This is just a chain reaction of people selling because the price dropped a little bit, and we played to that, right? And now people who are shorting really late are just decimated, right? So we have this it's not even compression, it's just transitioning. It's not sure. And so for for this kind of day, unfortunately there's really not much I can give. I'm really sorry. But if this plays out again, I'll post about it so you guys can hop on. But yeah, I'll be up until I'll be up for another 3 hours because it's currently 11:30 in the evening, here in the Philippines. So I do need to get some sleep, and I am visiting my dad tomorrow, so gotta wake up early for that. Yeah, stock setup SLDP possibly. Do you scalp stocks too, or just crypto? So I mostly scalp crypto. I don't want to scalp stocks, but I swing stocks. So I was showing the people here earlier MSTR MicroStrategy. Uh, is this the right chart? Is it? Do I have my? No, I don't. Okay. Uh, MSTR. Okay, I did it on Pith. There we go. All right. So I was showing people earlier that I did want to put in a long for MicroStrategy around 185. Here. Wait, what happened? Why is my? What happened to my? Really? Okay. Okay. Let me redo this. Right. Okay. Oh God. Da. Nope. Nope. Okay. Fine. There we go. 1 week. But yeah, my idea is that if my thesis on Bitcoin plays out, then my thesis on and then well, if my thesis on Bitcoin plays out, then MicroStrategy should play out alongside it since it's very dependent on Bitcoin as a whole. So I was thinking of possibly doing this very large setup with MicroStrategy. Um, yeah, and this could be placed for like a lower low, but then it's a nice little double bottom, like a very asymmetrical double bottom, like a speakerphone, and then we shoot to the upside, we break past this wick right here, and yeah. Yeah, again, sometimes it's really hard to see anything, and if you can't see anything, just don't force it. So thank you for making that inside stock scalping samurai. Yeah, stock set of SLDP. But yeah, I'll check out what Saint is saying. Let's look at solid power, right? And maybe I'll go down to maybe like not 12 hour, maybe like 1 hour and 12 hour, right? Just to get an idea of what it's looking like. Mm, yeah, I wouldn't short this right now. Uh, I mean, for some reason it bottomed out, right? It bottomed here, and then just crazy push to the upside. Is it in price discovery? I don't think so. No, it's not in price discovery. Okay, nice. I wouldn't because 12 hour we got that twist in the ribbon. We got break of structure. I see us pushing further to the upside. But that said, if we look at it from a more macro sense, so let me pull up 1 week 12 hour. I like playing right. Right. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I would place an alert at around 9.48 as well as an alert maybe a little higher right here. And so our goal is, or rather, if you plan to short this, wait for 1 week to go overbought, right? And I mean, it's proven that if you wait for the 1 week to go overbought, it does head down, get in a pump, but you do head down. So you'd be able to essentially escape if things go south. So I'd basically look for potentially, right. I'd look for areas maybe to short here and here. But it could easily just do price discovery and blast through these resistances and just head up. It could do that, right? It's all speculation, but based on what I'm seeing, if we do get overextended on the 1 week, I'd want to just check these regions out. So 9.5 to 11.1. What are your thoughts on quantum stocks worth the long? Quantum stocks. What do I think of quantum stocks? I mean, quantum computing's cool, right? I don't have enough research on it just yet, so I can't really comment too much. I'd have to get back to you. But I can probably type it in trading chat later. But I think it's cool. It's definitely it's definitely going to be related to AI, I bet. So those narratives are going to be closely tied to each other. Uh, I do see I do see it as something people are really going to look into and invest in. So the potential to long quantum stocks definitely there. It's just a matter of when's the best time, and so I can't really answer the question. Yeah, best time to buy those when they were at single digits. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you guys believe that we can achieve space travel, like sustainable space travel more than the ISS, more than the moon landings, if you believe we can achieve that within the next 50 years, then thumbs up, right? I mean, Tesla's trying, but Tesla's also losing a lot of the government subsidies. So, yeah, I mean, quantum computing would be great for those things. Really, Saylor is sweating blood. You know, but I do think Michael Saylor, as much as he's sort of the big guy for BTC, I do think he's got a lot of sense when it comes to buying. So if if his average buy price in BTC is 70 and it goes down to 60, he's going to ape in that shit. He's going to ape it. I know it. Oh man. Okay. So it's 11:33. Let's look back to BTC. And yeah, I mean, it's really it's not breaking past this point, right? We got here one, two, three, down four, five. We're really trying. And so I'm hoping that in the next few hours we get that overbought. And if we do, and we get a reversal triangle, I will be sending the announcement through our trade setup. But if not, I do have a trade I called, so you can probably put an order for that right now, just so uh, there's there was some value from the stream. So it's an ETH long. Uh, let me possibly was this my yeah, right here. And then let me fix this and clean this up for us, right? Right. So yeah, right here. So it's an ETH long, and essentially it's a very similar thesis to Bitcoin, in the sense that we've got bearish momentum. It's gonna push us down, rejected off the 618, but our dynamic reactors smack dab in the FVG right now. You got CPO plus pointed down. I see a potential bounce from this FVG and dynamic reactor. We bounce up, and I see us possibly getting as high as 8,000 with Ethereum. That's just based on market cap and mathematics. Because, like I said uh, in yesterday's stream, there hasn't been an injection of liquidity the likes we've seen from 2021, from 2017. We haven't seen that yet, and so and the reason for that is because, well, for one, the the U.S. inflation, the Federal Reserve, really right now the U.S. needs fiscal policy, because as much as you've got monetary policies from the Federal Reserve, even Powell knows that maybe it's not as effective as they initially thought, because while they are cutting rates, right, they still somehow want to lower inflation to 2% from 3%. So cutting rates doesn't necessarily lower inflation, and so you'd be thinking that by cutting rates, maybe your output's increasing or jobs are being created, but what's happening is companies are just bolstering their workforce with AI. So rather than opening jobs, which would cost maybe, I don't know, the minimum wage, I think per don't correct me on this because I'm not fully knowledgeable, but I checked like South Dakota's minimum wage is $2,000, but to basically bolster a current employee with AI is probably like $500 a year, or like $1,000 a year. So it's much more economic for businesses to just bolster their current workforce with AI, reduce turnovers, rather than opening jobs, having to train them, and then having to basically pay a huge sum annually, and all the benefits that come with it. So it's still more efficient and more affordable on businesses and to just throw in AI, which means that you really need some sort of incentive past monetary incentives to get businesses to make more jobs. And that's where fiscal policy comes in. But with the government shutdown, that's rough. Yeah. Most of the world is broke. Yeah, even here, right? We've got a ton of cash, technically, like fiat currency, but we're in this weird limbo of like squeezing, but also we're sort of loose. It's weird, and we got to work on that. So yeah, and I'm sure Trump knows that. I'm sure he knows the economics of it. I mean, he wouldn't have an empire without it. So yeah, all right. I see 944 in the chat. Welcome back. I just realized Aussie and 944 have very similar profile pictures, so it's very interesting. Do you plan to short Ethereum too? Uh, that's a possibility. I mean, it's doing something very similar to Bitcoin right now, so maybe 3 430. But as much as possible, I kind of want to stick to when I'm shorting. I kind of want to stick to the things on the same chain, or things that are very, excuse me, I really shouldn't eat watermelons. I don't know why it's making me gassy. Is that even possible? But I sort of just want to stick to one major cap, or something on the same chain when I'm shorting. I don't know. That's just a preference of mine. So if I give a call to short BTC, I'm probably not gonna give a call to short Ethereum. But if I give a call to short Solana, I'll probably give a call to short Pengu, or something along those lines. Yeah, but you can short Ethereum probably, but same sort of requirements for me, which is you want your 1 hour to be overbought, and ideally you want your 5 minutes as well to be overbought. You want both to be overbought so that you have a higher probability when you short. Oh wait, we just Wait, we got an alert on Giggle. So let me. Oh, um. Well, Dash went overbought on the 5 minutes. So, I think was it Jr. who asked for Dash? Well, he's gone, unfortunately. But well, that sucks. That sucks. This could have been a great long, but there was nothing here that was really giving it. It was just boom, spike up. So we couldn't see that. But congratulations to anyone who might have been longing it, right? All right, let me check out Giggle because I just saw that I got the alert on it. Oh, okay. So I placed an alert. I probably should have put a line, right? But I placed an alert around 180, and we hit it, and well, we're sort of dropping from there, and we can see that. Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. We might have an opportunity, guys. Okay, I don't know if you guys have Giggle on your exchange, because as far as I know, it's just on Bybit, Binance, Mexi. Okay, maybe there is Giggle, right? Oh, there's also Giggle on Blowfin. Oh, I thought there wasn't. I tried searching. Anyways, this is good. This looks good. So we're overbought on the 1 hour. We got bearish divergence. We've got our peak seeker down reversal overbought as well. So, possible point of entry, right? Because I see there's a possibility that we continue to the upside, and given that most of the trading, most of the trading happened around 180. If possible, I would probably short around here, right? If we can enter, this is probably going to be a very tight stop loss scalp thing. You could swing all the way to the POC, but just for tonight or this morning, right? Just go easy on this because we weren't expecting this too much. So something like this, right? I see something like this playing out. If you, I wouldn't enter market price, right? If it doesn't come here, then unfortunately it won't come, or rather it won't go back to our price. If it doesn't, which sucks, right? But it's very difficult to do. Alternatively, if we want to swing this, we would enter here. So market price essentially, right? Increase our stop loss, aim for 1 to 2, so right on the 618. So something like this as well. It's possible you could do something like this. So two possible trade ideas. One is riskier. You're definitely gonna lose possibly more if you take the bigger one. But the smaller one, probably we're not gonna get the entry. But we'll see how it goes because again, we're still sort of bullish on the momentum, so we can still push up. BTC salt pump. If a watermelon is hydrating your colon, it will make you burp, which is how. Ah, ah. Okay, so it's not making me gaseous. It's just okay, interesting. All right, the more you learn, or the more you know. Okay, interesting. Right. So this looks like a thing. We might be late though, which sucks. Might be too late to call this. But it looks good. It looks really good. So it this is like pretty good scalping short right here. I mean, we got everything we want. We got overbought. We got a peak seeker, downward reversal, bearish div, a twist in the ribbon. We're starting to twist here. We're even overbought on our higher time frame relative to the time frame we're working with. So it looks good. It's just difficult. But I see that BTC and Ethereum is pumping. Okay. Yeah. BTC and Sol. So Sol did the same thing. How's Trump doing? Trump's doing the same thing. Okay. Okay, we left a pretty big wick on the 5 minutes, but it's not really gonna matter in the larger scale of things, I feel. Okay, but ETH 5 minutes is now in a rising wedge, and that's pretty bearish. So we could be getting our short soon on BTC or Ethereum, depending on who wants to go first. But you know what? I think I'll call BTC. Yeah, I think I'll call BTC, but essentially I want this to be just for our protection. I'm going to keep it as low lev as possible, and then I'm going to basically short to my call at 93, right? I want this to be a low lev Bitcoin trade. So I think I'll call it. Yeah. All right. So we are getting a trade right now. All right. Let me just pull up my tools. I have a prepared template to send. um. Okay. Nope. That's not it. Those are links to my old Zoom classes back in the pandemic. All right. So this is not a scalp, unfortunately, but we are working with what we've got. So let me let me chart this for us. BTC USDT.p. But I hope you guys were able to see the entry. So let me go back. So we're looking at 104 ish, 104 ish with a stop loss at 107 ish. Would take profit at RFVG at like 93. Excuse me. Yep, yep. It's really cleaning my colon. I'm enjoying it. It's amazing. Fantastic. But yeah, let me just fix this. Uh, poop, poop, poop. So we want to short Bitcoin at around, let's see where our thing is, right? Short around 104,302. Uh, take profit at around 93, right? Your stop loss you can place at 107,657 if you want to be safer. 108, right? So we got a lot of resistances. It's up to you, but officially I'm gonna say 108 just to get, or 108.6 for one, just to get a little bit safe, right? So 103, 104,226. Let's say 104,225. It's a nicer number. Um, that might bite me later, but 108,650 for your stop loss, and then let me pull up my calculator to see the recommended leverage. Okay. Yeah, and what I love about having sort of a Google Sheets calculator is the fact that you can access it from your
Sorry,
phone.
I didn't understand.
Yeah, I don't have an Alexa, so I have a Google Dot, and it's sorry. Okay, 104,225, and then stop loss at 108,650. 108,650. Recommended leverage is like 58. It's a little high for me, so I'll put it. I'll put it 30 for when I do the signal. But you can do 50 if you'd like. So first TP SLBE, we can probably do 99 for your oh no, if we're going here, right? We could do retracement maybe. I don't know. It would be like from here, right? So let me I don't know if I forget if I'm doing this right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So your 618 is probably gonna be 100. So we want to take our first TP here, right? Okay. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. Oh nope, I didn't. No. Oh, okay. Right there. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'm gonna go take a. I'm gonna go download this so I can post it. Oh no, why did I extend so high? What? What? When did that happen? Okay, 15 to 15. Where? What in the world? What the what? What's going on? This is crazy. Okay, 108, 208, 650. Okay, and then we want this all the way to 93. Let's properly chart this for the people who aren't here. Right? We'll move this here. Our entry is 104,225. Right. Okay. Put it. Okay. And then. All right. We got 9 minutes before this live ends, so I am happy that we're getting a nice signal right here. This is a swing call. It's a short. First, take profit at 100. 850. Your final take profit at 93,000. Leverage. All right, let's. Before I post that, let me just look at the chat. So, do you think BTC could hit 93k? How long will this trade be for? I do think it can hit 93k. I see this being maybe possibly a week, maybe 2 weeks long. So feel free to take profits along the way or closing if you'd like. But I'll probably have this pretty much up. Yeah, I'll be joining this for sure. All right. So let me go back to Langestrom. Let me put the image there. Right. So we're seeing that 1H is nearing overbought on BTC and is headed toward a bearish order block with a significant bearish imbalance. Is it really an imbalance if it's 100% bearish? It's not technically balanced. But anyways, with a significant bearish imbalance. This order block coincides with the 4-hour as well. We see as well. This could very well be the bounce to the entry I called at 93k or so. Yeah. All right. So you guys saw it first. You basically saw my rationale for it, and yeah. Stop loss above multiple resistances and post. Nice. Yeah, and I will also basically put my money where my mouth is and basically plug. Oh, my phone is dying. Oh, it's at 8%. Where's my charger? Okay. All right, 6 minutes. But yeah. Oh, hey, Daga DT. Welcome. Yeah, welcome. Uh, welcome to the show. We got 5 minutes left on the show, so you're just on time. All right, let me pull up BTC. Okay. Oh, come on, load. So, placing my limit order. All right, and I have placed my order for this BTC short. Yeah. All right. So that's one call. That is one call through the stream. So, ooh, at least we got a call. I mean, it's not a scalp. It's a swing, but I see us getting overbought here. We're near equilibrium. I see a rejection. It's also on the 4 hour, so big resistance here. Stop loss is kind of high up relative to where we're at. 30x leverage as well, so we should be okay. Although my calculator said do 60, but it's a recommended set of leverage, not what you should use. So yeah, let's see what the chat says. I popped on your BTC short. I was curious. Oh yeah, so let's go here. Essentially, the 5 minutes is really trying to get to the entry, right? And your 1 hour is almost overbought. And if we go to the 4 hour, is 4 hours probably down here, I think. It's probably down here. Yeah. But this also happens to be the order block on the 4 hour, right? And while it can push up, you got heavy money outflow. And so sometimes, or it's not sometimes, but a couple of times, this could basically invalidate the push upwards. Multiple bear divs. It's the index. Is it 5 minutes? Yeah, it might be the exchange. Yeah, it might be the exchange because I'm on Blowfin, so sometimes it doesn't register. But I do get the peak seeker here on my 5 minutes. It might be the exchange. Yeah. Oh yeah, this should be like 108, right? It's like 108, so it's above here. So essentially, if it gets to 108, you get that change of character. Excuse me. Yep, watermelons. It's the watermelons. But yeah, I do like Blowfin. Actually, I believe Chart Prime has a. What's this? We have a affiliate link with Blowfin. So if you guys are looking for an exchange, uh, and you kind of want to stray away from, let's say, Mexi, Blowfin's great. It's very secure. Pretty low funds. I think it's the second lowest. You can correct me. I'll have to check Perplexity because I have a subscription to Perplexity AI. But I think it's the second lowest fees. It's a little bit limited library of coins, but yeah, love Bluffin. Can USA use? I believe so. Yeah, I believe there's no restrictions anywhere in the world. Just be cautious. Just be aware if you reach. Really? I see. I see. Okay. Yeah. So in that case, thank you so much for bringing that up. I didn't know that. So again, thank you so much. And now I'm kind of scared. I just promoted Blowfin. But yeah, it's 12 p.m. where you guys are at. It's 12 a.m. where I'm at. We got multiple bearish divs on the 5 minutes, so it's looking pretty good. I'd still see us pushing up to the upside, right? But I I'm pretty confident in this trade. Now, of course, if you guys have any questions on the trade, just let me know. If you have any contentions, I'd love to hear them. And again, this is just based on my strategy, and if you see any flaws or faults or have any concerns, then feel free to modify it as you see fit. You don't have to fully copy me. The signals I give are suggestions based on just my experience as well as how I analyze things. So yeah. But yeah. All right. So that brings the stream to an end. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate you guys dropping by. And to the new faces, I hope you guys can drop by next week. So the streams next week are going to be Tuesday and Wednesday, 9 a.m. EST. So I'll be here again next week. And, I'll be active throughout the week. So if you have any questions or you remembered something on the stream and you didn't get to ask, feel free to tag me through the general chat. I'll try to get to as much of them as I can. Yeah. So thank you so much for dropping by, guys. And again, thank you for coming to my show. I'm Langstrom, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.